Yes, we are back in the building. This is Body Mundo Radio, broadcasting live from beautiful, sunny, not on fire Los Angeles, California. We got a special guest in the building. We met at Pirate Studios
Yes,
a
sir.
couple months back,
Legendary.
yeah, sometimes, going over there, it could be up or down energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we definitely hit it off, and it's very positive energy. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. So my name is Marques Hale, aka Marquise R&B, and I'm actually all the way from Dalmar, Delaware. So it's been a journey, man. But I'm here.
Yeah. So, how long have you been in LA for?
So actually, I moved. I jumped right into Orange County first, um, and I've been here since September.
Yeah.
So you know, it's been about 4 months, 5 months, and it's been beautiful, man.
Word for sure. Um, what would you say about the contrast of LA and Delaware? Like, or if there is any, like,
Yeah, yeah, man. I think a lot of people don't realize the the West Coast is just more vast. Like I went back home to because I live near DC too, Philly,
oh yeah,
and it's a lot of people, but the West Coast is still more people, way more vast.
yeah.
It's a lot bigger. It just feels a lot bigger.
I think DC is called Chocolate City, right? Is that like
Yeah, all
okay?
week.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Crazy. So we're not so much Chocolate City, but I mean we're kind of like horchata and Chocolate City. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I ain't gonna lie though, Los Angeles itself feels very like I always see beautiful black people
oh yeah,
as
facts.
opposed to, where I live at in Orange County.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot more culture out here, to be honest with you. More of us, I'll say.
word. All right, so I want to just get into a quick intro, real quick.
Yeah, no
Uh,
worry.
so, Mark, is it Marcus?
Marquise.
Oh, okay, Marquise. All right, just I wanted to make sure I was like pronouncing it right. All right, so Marquise Hale is a singer-songwriter from Del Mar, Delaware. He's known for his smooth voice and R&B music, inspired by acts like Mint Condition and Music Soul Child, who you could low key kind of look like. I was like, I don't know if you guys are related or something like that, but
Yeah, that's forever.
oh yeah. He has been honing his craft since grade school, with hits like his latest releases, "Play About Her," "Keep Me on My Ass," "Happy Face," and "Brown Eyed Lover," which is one I really like. I felt like that was
Yeah, that's a vibe. That's a
yeah,
vibe.
it's crazy. There's actually a few songs, that I'm like, it really takes you back to, you know, just like, those like pure emotions. I was thinking about the first crush that I ever had, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because I don't remember the name. Oh wait, no, I think it's Yearbook. Actually, is that the
Oh
one where
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Shoo. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that really took me back. So
I'm glad, man, because those were the beginnings, and
yeah.
when I seen that you posted Brown Eye Lover,
Oh yeah, facts.
I was like, it's good to know that my early music is being enjoyed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
So
know,
how early was that? Like,
I was early,
oh yeah.
early, but I've been dancing and singing and rapping my whole life, as we all do.
Mhm.
But to be honest with you, probably say right before the pandemic, which is a blessing.
Yeah,
I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, and I started really honing in on my music. And I wrote that album with the yearbook on it, and then I did Brown Eyed Lover. But every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, it's so early. I'm like, I can
yeah,
I can hear how early it is. but the pen was still penning.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Facts. Word. Okay, so we're gonna play Brown Eyed Lover, but let me just like finish it. So he's made a name for himself in the industry. Hale is passionate about storytelling and believes in creating music that properly represents culture and resonates with listeners. Join us as we dive into his journey and the soul behind his sound. This is Barrio Mundo. I've got a brown eyed lover on the other side of town. I don't wanna keep her waiting. I don't wanna keep her waiting. She's got me upside sometimes. Alright, we're back. That was Brown Eyed Lover by Marques Hale. Yeah. So you were saying that's a cover?
Yes, sir. The great Alan Stone. Shout out to him for not flagging that song.
Oh yeah. Facts. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea. But I mean, regardless, it's still like a beautiful song. During when we were playing that, I just was like, the way that people have been talking about relationships like on the internet, for the past couple years, I just was like, is she letting us pick the restaurant these days? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I believe in love, you know what I'm saying, and all that stuff. So
she's out there.
Oh yeah. Facts. Definitely. So I wanted to ask you, would you say that you make like a lot of like love songs, or?
Yeah, man. I mean, actually driving on the way here, I was working on my freestyle game. So last week I went to Sunset Cypher. Shout out to them. And I had a show, and part of the show was like freestyling.
Yeah.
So it's got me back in my freestyle when I'm riding. And I realized when I freestyle about love, it's so much more in depth. And there's so many places you can go, as opposed to put myself in a motivational box or any other box. When you go the love route, there's so many places you could really go from there,
Yeah, I totally feel you. But that brings me to my next question. What is love? Like, what would you say love is to someone who has like, if you had to explain it to someone who has never experienced love, how
right?
Would you?
I mean, I could only give them how I grew up and what I seen from my parents.
Yeah.
I believe that it's really a friendship. It's not that far off from a brotherhood, sisterhood. It's not that far off. There's someone that you can have fun with. My parents were jokesters. I just was thinking about this today too. Like my father was hilarious, like doing stuff in front of me I shouldn't have seen. But it was funny, and my mom, she loved it, and joking all day, and so that's the type of love that I want, the type that you can have fun, laugh with, almost like a brother sister type vibe.
Yeah. Word. For sure. Good answer. Yeah. Crazy. So how did you start to like make music? Could you just talk about your like journey and the first song you made, like that whole?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, before I get into like, I'm curious. Like, what's your thoughts about that? What do you think love is? That's a deep one.
Well, I I don't really know. You know, and thinking about the past times that I've like been in love, they've all been kind of different. Like it has like evolved over time. And
Word.
um, well, the Bible says, love is like selflessness and kind, and not quick to anger. Um, and all those other things.
Those things, yeah, those things.
Yeah. So, but I think that you know, I don't really know.
No, I think
it's crazy.
that's what I was getting at when I said brother sister type vibe. because that's how we are with our siblings or someone that you look at platonically
Oh yeah.
for the
Oh yeah.
most part.
Exactly.
But when it
Exactly.
goes to that next level, we lose those things,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very true. I actually just got in contact with my brother and sister for like the first time, like
Really?
early, yeah, like last year. So I've been like talking to them,
Are you
which is
serious?
yeah, which is so crazy.
Wow.
And yeah, I already like feel like more complete as a person, and
Yeah.
um emotions that like because I always knew they were like somewhere, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't know where.
Yeah.
Um
Untapped emotions.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
That. So yeah, so like
And a security. I feel like they bring a security, you
yeah.
know. My brother, unfortunately, not to get too deep, but he passed away.
Hmm.
He's from, Baltimore. It's a different type of lifestyle. And yeah, I deal with that now. It's just remembering his voice in my head when I go into different rooms to just be confident. So I feel you. I'm glad. I'm happy that you did that because they do bring a confidence.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, like I think what you said about the platonic thing is very important, because like it's not uh expectational, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like kind of like
Real love.
yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you start to make music? Actually, and I also want to say my condolences also, you
Ah.
know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah. Thank you,
like
man.
mandatory, gotta say that. But yeah, when did you start to make music? Like how did that happen?
Man. So originally, I I've always been dancing, like I said, like we talked about earlier. But as far as singing, I can remember being in high school, and the high school is the time when everyone's figuring out what their vibe is.
Yeah.
And I was stuck on the fact of like, no, I want to be a singer. This is what I love. I listen to Maroon 5, Drew Hill. Like
Oh
my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
playlist in the morning was all singing. And one day my guys threw me in front of like the circle, because that's big high school vibes.
Oh
This
yeah, 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 definitely.
And was like, bro, sing. That's what you want to do it. And ever since that day I sung a Miguel song. Shout out to Miguel.
Oh yeah.
That
Which one?
ooh, which one was it? Probably was Sure Thing at the time, something like
Hmm.
that. And ever since that day, I made sure that I got into the studio, and I was that guy. That was just one of my attributes.
Yeah.
That's what high school does, man.
Yeah. Oh no, I remember. Yeah, it's actually so crazy. I wonder if people remember those moments. Like the bystanders. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
yeah, you remember that time, like da, 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 you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, so crazy because everyone experiences those things from what I'm saying from like a
Yeah.
different like so like the random like fifth party, what I'm saying, who's like
Yeah. No. Yeah.
maybe not in the cipher, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, yeah.
I went to 24 the other night, and this guy was like,
What is that?
24-hour fitness,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and the front desk guy was like, I went to school with um, the guy from Queen, or one of those,
yeah. Hmm.
and I could just feel it in his spirit. It was just like, I guess, one of those things, like,
Hmm.
you don't know who the person's going to become, but you can
Oh
always
yeah,
you
yeah,
can always
exactly,
say that
exactly.
in a conversation, like,
Oh
and
yeah,
I could tell he was proud of it.
yeah,
So
crazy.
I guess it becomes that.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into these next songs, I want to ask you before because I'm gonna do yearbook and then magnetic spark.
All the
Um,
oldies.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
think it's important to like show the chronological,
Yeah, seriously.
uh, journey,
The pen
and
was there. I will
yeah,
say
yeah,
that
yeah,
the pen was definitely there.
yeah, and yeah, yearbook really reminds me, you know what I'm saying,
I
man.
I just had a flash of my crush, my high school crush.
Yeah,
As soon as you said it, she flashed across my mind. Like she's still gorgeous too.
yeah.
Shout out to Ariana. She's girlfriends with my one of my friends.
Hmm.
So it ain't that serious, but she is always gonna be beautiful.
Oh yeah, yeah. So is that who you're talking about in that song? When you're like, I dated one of your friends, but you dated one of mine.
Yes.
That
Yes. Yes.
is so crazy,
She hurt me, man. She
man. Oh
hurt
really?
me. But in a good
Oh,
way, in a good way. We all need that. It builds character.
I mean, yes, it does, but hey, man, I don't know. As long as you are healed, you know what I'm saying. That's
That
the most
part.
important thing, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause, but yeah, actually, I skipped over this. What were your earliest musical influences, and did you grow up like in a musical family, like? Oh,
Not really, man. I grew up, and we don't got to get too deep into this piece of it, but I
yeah,
grew up a Jehovah's Witness.
me too.
Are you serious?
Swear to God.
Yeah, chill.
That's how I knew the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? Like all those,
Yeah.
the Jehovah's Witness weddings, like they always like use that Bible verse talking about love. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, brother hell,
Nah, yeah,
brother
yeah, and I
hell.
say not to get. We don't got to get to. We could have that conversation off camera
Oh
because
yeah, yeah.
it becomes very deep and convoluted
Oh yeah,
if it's not.
definitely, definitely.
But you'll know what I'm saying as far as the singing wasn't necessarily like my cousins who were like church singers,
Mm-hmm.
but I do credit the Kingdom Melodies for
Oh yeah, yeah, facts.
the uh the old school piano of it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sung growing up, and of course in the house, heavy Faith Evans, you know, heavy Jodeci. I remember the Jodeci VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Um, but it didn't really kick in until like middle school where I realized like, oh no, like I'm gonna forever like this type of music, you know.
Yeah. Crazy. That is, I've actually come across a few people who have
Yeah, it's
been,
not that far fetched, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, did you ever like give talks? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, 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 same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh man,
I'll
it's
be honest
crazy.
with you, I still go
Yeah,
like as a refresh, and it's important to me because I mean, like you said, it's really just based out of the Bible. I like the education of it all.
yeah,
Now the other stuff can become kind of convoluted
yeah,
and
yeah,
deep, but
definitely.
you know.
Yeah, man. Let's not get disfellowshipped on the air. You feel me? Like, nah.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you ever been to Bethel?
Yes, sir.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
crazy. I haven't, but yeah,
I've been a lot, man. I not a lot, maybe like 4 or 5 times.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, I'm not against it. Like when I have kids, I wouldn't be opposed to raising them in that. They would just have to have a mind of their own.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Because like with all like religions and stuff like that, people can get really
Brainwashed,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
for lack of a
Yeah,
better term. And I
yeah,
don't mean that literally. I'm just saying that was the term if you don't have your own mind, you know?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
For
So
certain decisions, you got to be able to make certain decisions.
yeah, it's true. You know, yeah, I wish I had some Kingdom melodies on deck to
Oh
play.
man, I would sing them to pieces, but
Life without death and love.
And
Right.
let's be clear to the audience, it's like it's not that far fetched. Like technically, it's like the number keeps rising. It's like 8 million of us.
Really?
So when you look at the population, it's I mean, but we'll always have that connection for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like where you were when you made those songs?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was working at UMES, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore.
Crazy.
I was working in the mailroom, and
Wow. Sounds like a movie already.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And in the mornings it's so quiet, so had time to. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna write this album, and it was just flowing. So that's Yearbook, and then Magnetic Spark um, was another just a vibe and a flow. That reminded me of Carl Thomas, and just reminded me like he caught a pocket in his vibe, and that's all it was. I wasn't thinking too hard on Magnetic Spark.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then it turns out to be my biggest streaming song, so I get it, because I wasn't thinking too hard on that one.
Yeah.
Yearbook a little bit more, but Magnetic Spark I wasn't thinking at all. It just came out.
Word. Okay, so that brings me for us to the next question, and that is, how do you approach writing about such personal topics? Because
Yeah. I mean, I did want to ask, like, what vibe did that put you in, a Carl Thomas vibe, or was it something else that Magnetic Spark was giving?
um, I don't really know.
Mm.
I wasn't thinking about like it in the context of like comparing, with anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I just was like taking the work as it is, and then there's so many things, that are relevant to me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That
and the
I felt
use you
like,
part,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple of
Yeah, and not necessarily like me, right? But like
Mhm.
women who like I've talked to in the past, right? Like you'd be in situations, and then it's just their guard is up so high. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's what that reminded me of. And I'm just like, I understand, where you're coming from. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna hurt you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah,
Without being too cliche.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what it really struck me as. But as you say, Carl Thomas, I mean, it definitely makes sense.
Oh man, yeah. He had those vibes, like bring, not that you're crying, but you just feel tears because the music and the vibe, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Like as I get older, when I hear like good music, like stuff that just like resonates with me, like it almost does bring tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
I think that maybe soon I'll be able to like actually like shed tears. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of hard. Like
Yeah, see, it's seasons. Yeah.
yeah. But I find that I'm getting more in touch with like my emotions like immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
not like 5 minutes later. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
so.
major. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I felt also listening to quite a
Magnetic
few of your
Spark.
songs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you said, yeah.
You know.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
I had to tell my homegirl, I won't give her name out, but we do got something special coming up soon.
Yeah.
Um, she's gorgeous, by the way, incredible artist. She basically is in the process of losing her aunt, and she's passing away. Not to get too deep,
Mm-hmm.
and I shared with her, if you feel the tears flowing, like let them flow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You know, and there's a time and place, and there's a season. But as far as like stopping the tears,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that no more. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so I got the melly glasses, right? So
Okay.
that's basically how. So when I'm at work, like the past couple of days, like I've been like, cycling through all your music, and
Oh my man, yeah.
it's like one thing I think the barrier that I have to break, that I will soon break, is being at work, being just being
Public
able to
places.
just shed tears wherever without that judgment, because you're moved by so many different things. It could be, you could see some kids with like their parents, you could see some lady walking her dog, just like beautiful moments, you know what I'm saying? And
Definitely.
that's,
I'm with you.
yeah, but I just was like, my hang up was like, yeah, I'm gonna start crying, and then everybody's
Yeah.
gonna be like, just like,
And you had the meta glasses.
oh yeah. So nobody like listening to music, they just see me crying like that shit. Oh man.
Yeah.
But who cares what?
I ain't gonna lie. On the way here, I was looking at Los Angeles and literally just was like, I felt it because I'm like, it's just so I could imagine, especially you growing up here and just in general.
Oh, yeah.
There's things that move you
exactly.
about this city because it's just beautiful like that.
Yeah, like just the way that the sun could hit something. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
no exaggeration. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. So I want to ask you, has your perspective on love changed over time, and how does that reflect in your music, or does it even?
Yeah, man. It has because I recognize through therapy, which I'm not afraid to say I do, and through just growth that emotional intelligence is a real thing. I was actually reading this morning in a publication. This is my producer calling me on the air, which I almost want to pick it up because he knows. Big bro, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Not much, man. You're live on Chung Radio.
Yeah, K Chung. Yeah.
Oh, what's up?
What's
I
poppin'?
forgot all about that, bro.
Hey, the cameras are out and everything. So what you got to say about the process, man?
It's been a journey. It's been an evolution. Working with you more than anything, I think that's what makes it special.
Yes, sir.
You can find an artist and you're a great team player, and when you look at musicality and wanting to be one of the best, you have that pedigree. You strive for that.
Man, thank you, man.
I'm just excited, for the next, as I told you, year one. Let them know, trust the process. Year two is hit the stage. We gotta win each fan one day at a time.
Yes, sir.
At a time.
Yes, sir. He actually he said he's about to play John Carter, one of your favorites. We're going through the foundational pieces right now.
That John Carter is dope. That's a dope record.
Yeah,
but
man.
Y'all into it. I don't want to take away from that.
No, man. He told me to pick. I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. He's like, pick it up. I'm like, okay, I'm picking it up. Okay, cool. So.
So that's how long have you? Fans, I hope.
He's got a question for you. He's got a question for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How long have y'all worked together?
It's been October of what was that? 23.
Oh, crazy.
Yep. Yeah, Jordan year. Yep, 23.
23. Yeah. October 23 to now. And I told him, I said, listen, I want to do 50 songs on you.
Yeah.
I said, by the time you get to 50, you're going to be a different artist. And, look at you now. He's sitting here with you because he puts the work in and he cares. And that's what we need in R&B and we need in music. We need artists that care.
Yeah, it's true.
That is very, very important. So,
yes, sir.
So,
look, man, I ain't gonna lie. I'll give you a call as soon as I get out of here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because I was calling you about that Murado idea.
Okay.
We got to walk down. So I totally forgot. As you see, I'm always calling him about a new
in real time. Yeah.
In real time. So call me back. Enjoy.
All right. Thank you, man.
I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right. Pleasure.
All right.
Bye.
Crazy.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good, man. Real life.
Yeah. He's foundational, and you were asking me a specific question though.
Oh yeah. Has your perspective on love changed over time?
That's a great example.
Yeah.
And I mean, even him calling me, you know, another deep conversation. I just lost my uncle last, not even that long ago, like January. And I just hear God telling me, I know you're hurting, but I've given you different pieces to the puzzle. You're gonna meet El Ray.
Yeah.
You're gonna have your OG producer.
Yeah.
He's not, you know, y'all are not my uncle, and that's forever.
Yeah.
But I just hear, so to answer your question, like, yeah, I appreciate people a lot differently as you get older and you know, you lose people and you realize that we're all connected, you know.
Yeah, it's true. That's also, I think I share that place, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really had, I haven't like lost anyone like
Yeah.
who like lately, you know. I mean, I definitely have like lost like friends, like you know what I'm saying, like that kind of thing, and it's
That's a crazy feeling too, believe it or not. Like you're wondering, when am I gonna lose someone?
yeah,
When it's been a
exactly,
while.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, because you know, like every year, and you know the scene, you know,
Yeah.
the underground or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
there's always someone who doesn't make it to the next year.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen it multiple times. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that you know just really like pulls on my heartstrings. You know, like as far as social media goes, like I've like really like kind of like pulled back. You know, a lot like of the things that because I feel like
Kind of vanity.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like those emotions I want to just kind of keep like sacred to myself.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah.
I feel compelled to like share them, you know.
Yeah, focus on self. Hit the gym. I see you've been in the gym,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
facts,
working
facts,
out.
man. Yeah, exactly. You know, you never know when that zombie apocalypse is gonna happen, you know, or Armageddon. You know, like actually,
That part.
Yeah, funny enough, like I, I don't know if this is true or not. We'll see. But I always thought that like I would see Armageddon in my lifetime.
Really?
Yes. I thought
Wow.
this since I was like a child, just because of the things that like you know we've seen happen in history, you know,
Makes
and
sense.
where we are now. I'm like, yeah, I think we'll see the Antichrist in our lifetime. You know?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. My whole thought process is probably a little bit warped because of the pandemic. And I know we gotta be careful as shouting that out because next thing you know, you'll get flags.
Oh yeah. Pandemic, the pandemic.
Yeah. But I agree, man. It is nothing is past the realm of comprehension anymore. It's official. But my honest belief is we're all going to experience. All gonna have a life experience, and we're gonna have to experience it.
Yeah.
You know, to so. But that's refreshing to hear that you always felt that way because I have too. But then I had to say, you know what? Maybe it's more fair. You know, our perspectives is like it's like a movie. Like um, I feel like he would just make it feel like we had a whole life experience, even though in real time it really was like a pandemic, Armageddon. But we don't feel like we got cheated. I don't think it'll feel like that. But that's me, you know.
Yeah. So before we get into John Carter, can you? I want to ask you, what has been some of the biggest challenges you faced as an artist, and how you overcome them?
Phew. I mean, if I could have all the money in the world, I would put it into my music.
Yeah.
So it's been that just
Oh, I
balancing
see.
independence. I was just watching Smokey Robinson. He did an interview. He was
Mm-hmm.
talking about getting his artists to pop off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been even hard for the great Smokey Robinson because there's so much. There's so many people doing music.
Yeah.
So I think it's just it would be something along those lines, just financially. But other than that, I haven't lost any inkling of hope. Like today, I feel very confident in what we got going on, and the proof is here. I mean, I'm sitting here with you.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm walking up the stairs. The stairs are nice and rugged and
Exactly.
dirty and grimy. I'm like, yo, this is when you know it's real.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah. I know this artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have got super political lately, right?
Mm.
And I remember, like, it's funny because I used to, I'd be saying, I've ranted and raved
Yeah.
about all the things, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that person still stayed in my life. They weren't at the point where they are now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
now they've turned political.
Oh yeah, now they're like super radical.
Yeah.
And they were saying that in regards to like, performing like that whole kind of thing. They were like, man, like I feel so much more validated from like going and performing at like Venice Beach or something, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like, blah, blah, like doing like the shows and the stages.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
that whole
Yeah.
thing. Well, not like festivals, but I'm just saying like in between there and where we are now. You know what I'm saying?
Understood. Yeah. Understood.
And
Trust me.
yeah, and so I just want to say to you because I mean, this is just something that I've observed like many times. Like,
Sure.
we can look at greats down the line. We can talk about people singing doo-wop on the corner. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
Or, like people playing the guitar on the train. All of those things. Like I think that when you're going an organic route, because finances is a big, huge thing, but you can't, nor should you lose sight or let those kinds of things, because money, like, if we really break it down, money's not even real. You know what I'm saying? What, you know, the society is right now that we're trying to, like, find our places in,
You're better off making the best art and leaning into
exactly
making something special.
exactly
Yeah.
And like also like taking like the ego out of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man, I totally
It
feel
creeps
you.
in. It's the ego. That thing will creep in before you know it.
Yeah,
Like so quiet.
exactly.
like, bruh, I'm about to play John Carter.
Yeah.
And now I got songs that blow me away. So in reality, life is beautiful, man. Like 2 Chainz said, like, the reality is I'm in a great place, but your mind will play tricks with you and the ego will definitely creep in.
Yeah, man, it's the human condition, So when was this song made, John Carter?
It was probably pandemic times.
Yes.
And my whole mentality was make the people feel something special, which is always my mentality. But more importantly, I really was just working on my writing, answering questions that we all have asked, especially the ladies.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just finished watching John Carter on Disney Plus. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Is that the one when about the hospital?
No. John Carter is about a guy that goes to Mars.
Oh, crazy! No, I've never seen that.
Listeners, thank me later, and that's why I wrote the song.
Let me write this down.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it was just on Disney Plus. I'm like, and I sat there and watched it. Like, so I wrote the song about. If you really listen to the lyrics, you'll be like, oh wow, that's literally about the movie. but it's powerful because it's a love story in it as well.
The part about, you know, you
Speaking language.
Yeah, well, no, the one it's like you're addicted to the way I save you from danger or something, or attracted to. Yeah. I was like,
Oh,
oh man, so
you're attracted to the way
bars.
I save you from danger.
Oh yeah, it's true.
That's a fact.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, you know. I mean, actually, man, I feel like we should play that one more time. I don't know.
Please, I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of captivated too because it's just a reminder of the writing.
Oh yeah,
You know.
yeah, definitely. You know, a lot of the pandemic was definitely a time, definitely a time. It was one of the best times in my life. You know,
Really?
yes, because I really just needed to get away from. I was like DJing super heavy. I was playing warehouse parties after hours. But I was like
outside
and shaking.
Yeah.
Yes. And the thing about that, especially when you're like a spiritual person, you know what I'm saying?
Right. We talked about that.
Yeah. It like being around people who are not, it can definitely take you in a totally different direction. And I was starting to go in a direction that
in retrospect.
Exactly.
In retrospect, it's easier to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when all that happened, it ended up being like the best thing, yeah.
I believe it, man. I'm glad. I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
You know, some people didn't respond well.
Oh yeah, it's true. I already know, man.
Unfortunately, it's not even funny. Some people really didn't respond well.
It's true, and they're not the same.
Yeah.
To this day, Yeah. But this song was one of excellent things that came out of that time period. You know what I'm saying? So we got
no, man. Yeah, bro. And honestly, to your point, that a lot of movie watching during that time, and I suggest that to anybody listening. And like we talked about, keep the influences alive. Don't be afraid to watch your favorite movie. One of my favorite movies is Remember the Titans. Sit down and like do stuff. We were talking about watching Good Times.
Oh yeah.
Like do stuff that you know is gonna kind of inspire you. You'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I would love to see that live. It's just crazy.
Yeah, special.
Yeah, have you performed that lately at all?
Not really, man.
Oh, okay. Oh, you should.
Now that you say it, yeah.
Man, some of these oldie songs, I think a lot of artists are always trying to do their new stuff.
Yeah.
But man, there's just even though because I think the grittiness and the unpolishedness or whatever is it all goes into what makes something more attractive to me. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm with you. Especially with what I learn now, and where I'm at now in life. It's just gonna meet in the middle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just talking about that with my producers, like standing on R&B music. Sometimes I get up on stage and I want to do my fast songs, stuff that's like I know, but it's like no, you're in R&B, bro. You might need to stand on business and rock them a little bit.
It's actually I was looking at the playlist here. Like Mango was up next. I got What song is it? Is it Next to You? Also, I have in here. We didn't get to that. But,
yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So let me ask you, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Man. Finish school. Finish school.
Did you or did you not?
Not really. Not at all. Because kind of what we talked about, the upbringing. You're kind of taught stay in the scripture.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
And it'll figure itself out. But what we don't realize is that kind of fosters our students not doing well. I think about my little cousin now. I got to give her a phone call because she's in trouble. But it's like, why are you in trouble? Because you don't take school as seriously as most do.
Oh yeah,
And we put it off as being like spiritual, and it's like, yeah, you can be that and finish school, please, so that when you get out here, you can kind of finance your music the way that you really, really want to, instead of having to be a barber, which I am, but I love,
Yeah.
and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some like money to be made by barbering. Like, there's a ton of money to be made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
I did it. Things happen for a reason. I to be super buttoned up every day, all day, probably wasn't in my plans. And I think, everything happens for a reason for sure.
Yeah. Wait, can we talk about Happy Face for a little bit?
Special.
Yeah.
Special.
So, who is that about?
Oh man.
Or,
No, to be honest with you, it was my producer. He wrote the majority of that song. And he was telling me when he gets home from work, and I've lived this obviously at different parts of my life and different relationships. When he gets home from work, you see your wife, and it's just the process of when she gets home. I see you stressed, yeah, you tense. You had a long day, I'm trying to fix it. Come have a seat. What you want to eat? Go take a shower, then I'm gonna go on and rub your feet.
Yeah.
Do you like it there? How about there?
Oh yeah.
Girl, show me your happy face. Like that whole verse is his life. But I've lived it, and we've all lived it.
Oh yeah, true, definitely. Yeah, it's facts. There is really nothing like coming home to someone that you love, or vice versa. Them, whatever. You coming home, I'm coming home, whatever. Same thing. Like
dinner ready.
Yeah.
It don't got to be the best dinner, as long as it's something. And
exactly. It's true.
Yeah,
the simple things. Like I think, especially now, a lot of things are just so like at such a tense level, like on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's just like slow down a little bit. What are the things that actually make you happy? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I picked up from your energy, and I speak about you in the gym, and even when we first met, just your vibe. It felt very grounded. It felt very much about the work.
Oh yeah.
And the things that matter. So I'm gonna take that with me, like you said. Like, don't worry about you got to worry about the money, but make something that matters.
Yeah, exactly. Because even when I'm at my like regular job, like I'm just thinking, man, it could be so much worse. You know what I'm saying? Like
literally.
Yeah. And, so.
Quite literally, yeah.
Yeah. We're still in LA. You know what I'm saying? So many people like work so hard to get here, to then not to leave, like in like a couple months. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
so,
yeah.
But
hold on.
Oh yeah, definitely. And let's get into Happy Face and let folks know what we're talking about.
Please, yeah. Happy Face, man. Happy Face is out right now. It's a special record, and I just hope that y'all feel the vibe in the pocket for sure.
I let that echo on.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. I don't know. I think we got to run it back, man. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I don't know what the algorithm is trying to tell me, but I need to start talking a little bit more stuff,
Oh yeah.
a little bit more crap, you know, like because it's definitely a vibe on there.
Exactly. Don't forget, I know your business.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just, I mean, we've all been there, you know, in a relationship, you know, whatever, friends, you know, with somebody who's running off a little bit too much at the mouth, and then it's like people think, you know, they'll be saying like a bunch of stuff, and then it's like, hold on, hold on, hold on. What is gonna happen? Who's gonna say something about you now? You know, you over here trying to like put out people's business. You got business of yourself. You know, you got secrets. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, and as people act like, to your point that you're immune to that, but no one is, and that's why you gotta try to be the best person that you can be as much as possible. Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, man, I just feel so blessed and humbled to be here sharing this moment with you, man. You know, just like listen, all of these beautiful, just banging creations. You know,
Man,
you know.
I
Thank you
feel
for
the
coming
same.
on. You know,
Nah, man, thank you for having me. This is a manifestation moment. We met each other at the studio.
oh yeah, facts.
We kept in touch, and we pulled up.
Yeah.
You know, but it's definitely not something that I'm going to take lightly, and I'm excited to look back at all the footage and the content that we chop up because I know I'm sure it's going to be special.
Oh yeah.